Against the Minnesota Twins before the Blue Jays go out West Coast. They'll take on the Seattle Mariners on Wednesday. They won the big weekend series against Texas, sweeping the Rangers here at the Rogers Center, while the Yankees were losing 2 out of 3 to the Yankees in the Bronx. Justin Morneau is the American League leader in hitting. Span, Hudson, and Mauer, and then the cleanup hitter on a hot streak, 5-game hit streak, 9 for 18, 2 home runs. One of those home runs came in yesterday's game, an opposite field shot into the Twins bullpen in left center. Got a lot of power, and this Twins power hitter handles the ball out over the plate, drives it to all parts of the field, but he's not hit well in this ballpark. Kadire, Kubel, and Young. Harris and the third baseman is Nick Punto. They're still waiting on their shortstop, J.J. Hardy, to get off the disabled list. He should join this team later on this week. And the Twins will face the left-hander, Dana Evelyn.
Dana Evelyn coming off a rough start in Boston in his last outing, 3-2 on the year. But he has been pretty good in his career against the Minnesota Twins. In 10 innings of work, just a 1.80 ERA. 21 walks and 39 in the third innings. That's a bit high. Needs that figure to improve. Scouting report, he has a fastball at a touch 90. He'll pitch average around 88. Slider, curve, and solid change. Big key for him tonight is for him to be successful, he needs to have a good sinking fastball, and he needs that changeup to be effective with some good movement also.
Denard Span will lead it off for the Twins. Span, the center fielder, hitting at .267. He's had a good month of May. They certainly come in at the corners to take away the bunt. A good strike.
It was interesting. He looked at Denard Span looked at Bautista where he was at. You could see him say, "Wow."
And
he's
that's
as close
why.
as the pitcher is. There you get a look at where Bautista's playing Span.
It certainly gets in a hitter's head. Anytime you see a defender that close, you don't even think about bunting, and then you find yourself in a hole 0-2.
Oh, those hitters that can really run, that have the great speed and like to bunt, one of the best ways to take that weapon away from them is just like Jose Bautista was doing. Get in there so close they can literally feel you.
Broken bat, little flare into center field. Oh, what a catch by Gonzalez. They got a terrific jump on that ball, and with his back to the infield, reached over his shoulder and robs a base hit away from Denard Span.
Well, they had to get a great jump because he had to be absolutely perfect with his jump and with his route to the ball, and then time this leap to make the catch. He just continues to impress every day with his play at shortstop.
And it's all about his preparation. He's the first one on the field every day to take his ground balls and get his work in. And then he's not caught off guard. First play of the game, he makes a spectacular defensive play. Former Blue Jay Orlando Hudson will bat right-handed. Hudson, a switch hitter. First time Orlando Hudson has played against his former team, the Blue Jays. You mentioned that Evelyn, to be effective, has to pound that strike zone, and this Twins team is very patient. It's just a team that makes you work, and you've got to throw strikes to them. There's a line drive into center field. That's going to get past Wells and go all the way to the wall. Hudson around first, headed for second. Wells gets the ball back into the cutoff man, Gonzalez, and Orlando Hudson has a one-out double, his 6th double of the season.
Like something maybe off speed, and Orlando Hudson drives it hard into the gap, and that's especially true for Dana Evelyn. He's not a power pitcher. He's not going to strike a lot of hitters out. He's the type of pitcher who's going to give up 8, 9, 10 hits a game, so he really can't afford to walk anybody.
Yeah, he is going to give up some hits. You just have to make sure you don't give them those extra bases with the base on balls. Joe Mauer with Hudson at second base takes the first pitch strike. Mauer, unprecedented, 3 batting titles from the catching position. Only the late Ernie Lombardi had 2. Mauer taking it a step beyond that, 3 batting titles early on in his career. inside. What is it about Mauer's approach that makes him so effective?
Well, he's very quiet with his body, little movement, and he has the ability to take the ball to all fields. And you get 12 games here at Rogers Center, career 375. And he just stays on the baseball so well. You'd never seen pull off or overswing.
He got fisted with that fastball in on his hands. Gonzalez had broken in behind Hudson at second. He was really out of position. That's why Mauer, I think, took a shot at that inside fastball, thinking he could dribble something through the vacated spot at shortstop.
And Mauer, he waits so well at the plate. Actually, his power numbers, if you break them down straight away into his opposite field, he doesn't hit when you force him to pull the ball.
There goes Hudson, fouled off. John Buck got a break right there. Orlando Hudson had a great jump at second base. But with 2 strikes, of course, Mauer's got to protect the strike zone. A ball and 2 strikes to the Twins catcher, Joe Mauer. 1 out.
And if you watch the great hitters, and of course you put Mauer in that category, no matter how much you pound them inside, it seems like you never speed them up. They have great discipline. They just keep staying back, waiting for the mistake out over the plate.
1-2 to Mauer. Tried to catch the inside corner with that front door breaking ball and missed. The key for Dana Evelyn has always been that compact delivery. Anytime he gets long, it seems as though it really throws him out of whack and he loses the strike zone, loses command. This is only his second start against the Twins. Got him. Good breaking ball down and away. He strikes out Joe Mauer. 2 down.
Well, you don't see this very often. Usually Mauer really stays behind the baseball, and he's very difficult to fool him. But good pitch sequence from Dana Evelyn on that inside corner. Maybe Mauer got a little conscious of the ball in, and he gets him to chase a good breaking ball down and out of the strike zone.
First baseman Justin Morneau steps in with 2 outs. Breaking ball hammered just foul. Morneau from British Columbia, born in Newminster, British Columbia. Won the MVP award 2 years ago. One of the real dangerous hitters. His .362 average, currently best in the American League.
And he comes into 2010. The last 4 years, he's driven in 100+ runs. So he's been very consistent run producer for the Minnesota Twins.
Just missed inside. New Westminster, British Columbia, and now he makes his home in St. Paul. Signed a long-term contract. He signed through 2013. Of course, he and Joe Mauer have been locked up by the Twins. A ball and a strike. Just off the plate outside. Dana Evans making some pretty good pitches here in the first inning.
He has. He looks very comfortable here early. You know, sometimes you can tell, especially with young pitchers, just by their demeanor on the mound, what their mindset is. And he appears to be very calm, confident, and under control.
That changeup missed high. 3 balls and a strike.
Morneau drove in 100 runs last year, 2006, career high of 130.
They walked him. 2-out walk issued to Justin Morneau. That'll bring Michael Kadire to the plate.
Well, defensively for the Jays this evening, it will be Lind in left, Wells in center, Lewis in right, Bautista at third, Gonzalez at short, Hill at second, Overbay at first, and Buck behind the plate. Dana Evelyn doing the pitching this evening for the Jays.
First and second, 2 out for the right fielder, Michael Kadire. Takes the first pitch down. Kadire at 264 with 5 homers. This is a pretty balanced attack, and the two left-handers, Maurer and Morneau, get an awful lot of attention, but Michael Kadire, pretty good run producer in his own right.
Vernon Wells, Gold Glove center fielder, has great range, very strong, accurate arm. And I can honestly say I don't think I have ever seen Vernon Wells throw to the wrong base. It seems like every time he has to make a throw, it's the correct one.
There's a strike on the outside.
Yes, Michael Kadire, a very underrated player. You don't hear a lot about him because the talk is Morneau and Maurer. He drove in 94 runs last year for the Minnesota Twins.
Two balls and a strike to Kadire. Hudson at second. Morneau at first.
And there's a lot of responsibility falls on this number 5 hitter because he's got to back up and be a threat behind Maurer and Morneau. Otherwise, every time a ball club has a chance, they just pitch around the two former MVPs. So it's important that Kadire be a threat.
Well, he's got the count in his favor now, and this is the one thing we talked about that's a real concern for Danny Evelyn, the base on balls. On the outside corner, 3-2. 2 outs here in the top of the first. The runners will be off on the pitch. He walked him. 2 walks in the first. One thing pitching coach Bruce Walton was concerned about, even giving the Twins free passes, loading the bases.
Well, there's really been no middle ground this season for Evelyn. In his wins, a great ERA, 1.40, and then if you look across the way at the losses, better than 11 ERA. And the batting average goes dramatically up. And that tells you how important it is for Danny Evelyn to throw strikes and stay ahead in the count.
Jason Kubel takes a first pitch off the plate outside. Kubel hit the grand slam in the 8th inning with 2 outs in yesterday's game for the Twins at Yankee Stadium. That came against Mariano Rivera. It was Kubel's 6th grand slam of his career. Check swing tapper right back to the mound. What a break for Evelyn. Gets out of the bases loaded situation. He walked a couple, but strands the bases loaded. Saturday in support of Ricky Romero. John Buck's been on fire as well with the bat. His average up to 276. And tonight the DH is Randy Ruiz.
It's a lineup that will face Kevin Slowey. He was a loser in the Twins' loss on May 11th against Chicago 5-2, making his 5th career start against the Jays here this evening, and is looking for his first win against them.
49 hits in 39 innings. He'll throw it over. All of these Twin starters throw a lot of strikes, so if you're batting against this staff, you better be ready to hit. Change up off the plate. 2 balls and a strike to Fred Lewis, the leadoff batter. Fly ball to center field. Not deep. Bernard Span makes the catch.
Kevin Slowey. Very live two-seam fastball with a lot of movement in sync. It's a fair curveball. Nothing exceptional. Decent changeup. And at times he's had control problems this season. It's been a...
Aaron Hill pops up the first pitch. Third baseman Nick Punto is there, and there are 2 quick outs here in the first.
Defensively for the Twins this evening, it would be Span, scratch that, Young in left, Span in center, Kadire in right, Punto at third, Harris at short, Hudson at second, Morneau at first, Maurer behind the plate. Kevin Slowey does the pitching this evening. And Orlando Hudson, 4-time Gold Glove second baseman. Great range. Very adept at turning the double play. And he can do a lot of things that most second basemen in baseball can't do.
Adam Lynn takes a fastball on the corner. That evens the count at 1-1. Slowey works very quickly. He gets the ball, he looks for the sign, and he will keep the pressure on the hitters. Breaking ball hit the left field. That ball sinking fast. Delman Young's going to have to play it on the bounce. Adam Lynn with a big turnaround first holds up with a 2-out single.
Well, just a ball hit right off the end of the bat by Adam Lynn, but Young unable to track it down.
Adam Lynn needs a few of those. He has been going through a little bit of a tough stretch, starting to swing the bat a little bit better. Vernon Wells hitting at 298. This is a tough lineup for Kevin Slowey. Good cut fastball down and away.
You know, you mentioned the fact that he's a control type pitcher, and generally he has excellent command, but this year it's not been quite as good as it has in the past. It's been a problem for him at times.
No balls and a strike. Up and away. Slowey's opponent's batting average against the Blue Jays is 370. And you look at the numbers and you can see a lot of individuals have had good numbers against Slowey. Vernon Wells 3 for 8. Right back up the middle, base hit. Adam Lynn round second base. He'll stop right there. Back-to-back 2-out hits for the Blue Jays. So Lyle Overbay will bat with 2 on 2 outs. Overbay himself 4 for 8 against Slowey with a home run. Right on the inside corner. No balls and a strike. 2 outs here. Bottom of the first inning. We're scoreless. Like most of these starters we talked about, they really work both sides of the plate very effectively. Outside of Francisco Liriano, who is a real power pitcher and a guy that can rack up the strikeouts, these guys are pitching to contact most of the time. Right in on the corner.
Well, Vernon Wells just continues to move up that all-time hits list for the Toronto Blue Jays. Has 1,414, trailing only Tony Fernandez.
A ball and 2 strikes. Just off the plate inside. Boy's keeping that ball, fastball undercutter, right in on his hands.
Everything has been hard on the hands of Overbay in this at bat. At some point, you'd have to think that they're going to try to go back away from him or soft, because they've really established the fastball in.
Tried to hit that outside corner and missed. Full count. Alex Gonzalez on deck. Slowly in a jam here in the first. Full count, 2 outs. Runners will be off on the pitch. Right in on his hands again, and Overbay fights it off. Blue Jays, Lind and Wells both singling with 2 outs. Pop back over the screen.
Yeah, that last pitch is the first one that's really been a mistake to Overbay in this at bat. Everything else has either been right on a corner or just off. And that was a fastball that ran back out over the plate. Pretty good pitch to hit. Lyle fouling it off. There's Olander Hudson.
Vernon Wells both played in minors together and getting reacquainted in the middle of this first inning. 3-2. Struck him out. Slowly gets out of a first inning jam with the strikeout. Elevates the fastball. We're scoreless after 1. Third baseman was named the American League Player of the Week. During the week, he hit .444 with 5 home runs, 8 RBI, and scored 8 times. So congratulations, Jose. That's a terrific honor. Named American League Player of the Week.
It really is. He put up enough numbers over the weekend to win.
Then Evelyn This is with the first pitch to Delman Young. Young, the left fielder, hitting .270. Delman Young was acquired by the Twins in that deal with Tampa Bay that sent Matt Garza and Jason Bartlett to the Rays. Popped back over the Twins dugout. This is one of those trades, and Delman Young's a very young player still, and he was traded early on in his career, but I think it's one that really made the Tampa Bay Rays whole. Picked up an everyday shortstop and an impact starter. 2 balls and a strike. Danny Evelyn walked a couple in the first inning and stranded the bases loaded.
Well, he's fortunate, gets a check swing to get out of that inning off the bat of Kubel. And maybe we'll have to wait and see. You get Danny Evelyn a chance to settle down and go deep into this game. But again, another 3-2 count, and it's just not going to be able to survive constantly deep in the count.
Long drive left field. That's got a chance to get out of here, and that goes into the seats. Home run, Delman Young. Young's 4th home run of the season. Gets the Twins out in front. Saw a lot of pitches in that at bat. Another full count, and he tees off on Danny Evelyn.
You just can't consistently go deep in the count 3-2. Eventually it will catch up with you, and that's what happened here with Delman Young.
Brendan Harris, the shortstop, will bat. Curveball evens the count. Excuse me, 0-2 on Harris. Harris has bounced around the infield. He's played from third base, and now he's filling in at shortstop with J.J. Hardy, the everyday shortstop, on the disabled list. Little pop up into center field. Vernon Wells is calling for it, and he makes the catch. 1 out. Delman Young's leadoff home run here in the second has the Twins out in front 1-0. Nick Punto, the third baseman tonight. Punto came to the Twins in a deal with the Philadelphia Phillies. Hard to imagine. This is his 7th year in Minnesota with the Twins. Had a big division series last year against the Yankees. Went 4 for 9 in the 3 games and drove in a run. 2 balls and a strike. Denard Span, the leadoff batter, stands on deck. Three and 1. Very patient team, the Twins. They understand how to work the count. They're not trying to just take walks. They're trying to get good pitches to hit. And when they don't, they'll take their walks. Right at the bottom of the strike zone.
You know, sometimes with certain pitchers against certain ball clubs, you take a pitcher like Danny Evelyn. You know, sometimes against certain ball clubs, the matchups are, you know, especially against a club that's going to really force you to get them out in the strike zone. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a tough matchup for you.
Base hit down the right field line. Fred Lewis over quickly to cut it off. Punto will be held at first base. Good job by Lewis to get over and cut it off. Keep Punto at first.
Very good job by Fred Lewis to hustle over very quickly, cut the ball off, and prevent Nick Punto from moving into second base and into scoring position.
So with Punto at first, 1 out now for Denard Span. Span was retired on a great defensive play by Alex Gonzalez, going into shallow center field and making an over-the-shoulder catch. And shows bunt. Infield really crashes down on Span. There's Bautista well in front of the bag at third base. Overbay has to hold the base runner at first. But they're trying to eliminate that bunt from Denard Span's mind. Punto has a big lead.
Well, if you get in there close enough as the third baseman, basically what you do is you take the bunt away from him, because no matter how good it is, you can still throw him out if you're in close enough. It forces him to take the ball with him, maybe try to take it towards the second baseman, Aaron Hill.
No balls and a strike, 1 out here in the second. Greatest example of a third baseman taking away a bunt that I can remember was Pete Rose against Mickey Rivers in the World Series in 1976.
He got in his head so bad he couldn't even hit in the series.
There goes Punto. Buck's throw to second base. Not in time. Punto got a pretty good jump. John Buck made a strong throw. Gonzalez didn't hang on to it, but I think it was academic.
Had a very good jump off of first base, and even if he handles the throw, clearly he's going to be into second base safe.
Punto 3 for 3 in steals this season. He's at second now. 0-2 count on Span.
Well, the Twins are really, for the most part, kind of like the Jays in the sense of stolen base. They don't run a lot. That was their 19th stolen base as a team. And the guy at the plate has 9 of those. Denard Span.
Twins out in front 1-0. 1 out here in the second inning. Delman Young's leadoff home run, his 4th. Put the Twins on the board. A ball and 2 strikes.
Even the shortstop, Alex Gonzalez, if you looked where he's positioned himself right now, respecting the speed of Denard Span, he's playing actually even shallower than he normally would at double play depth.
That defense is really twofold in that you are guarding against the speed of Span and him slapping the ball at shortstop, but also you keep Nick Punto close to the bag at second.
But oftentimes you'll see that middle infielder work in behind the runner to try to hold him close, but then try to move back and get into what would your normal depth would be.
Overbay from his knees to Evelyn covering the bag. Span's retired. Good glove work by Overbay. Punto moves over to third.
Outstanding play by Lyle Overbay, diving to make this stop, but give Dana Evelyn a lot of credit also. He broke very quickly and got over to first base. If he hesitates at all or has a little trouble getting started off that mound, Denard Span with his speed would have won that foot race. So good job on both ends.
Well, the Blue Jays are very good at making sure they run their pitchers through the pitchers' fielding practice from time to time, and they have recently gone through that, so it was fresh in Evelyn's mind. Made a good play. 2 outs now for Orlando Hudson, who doubled in his first at bat. First pitch strike.
Orlando Hudson has bounced around a little bit since leaving Toronto. He's played with the Diamondbacks, the Dodgers, and now the Minnesota Twins, but a very good player.
Curveball, center field. Vernon Wells takes a few steps back and he makes the catch. Dana even gives up a leadoff home run to Delman Young. Second inning, a shot to left center, his fourth of the season. In Anaheim. You can vote for your favorite Blue Jays players: Vernon Wells, Aaron Hill, Adam Lind, or Alex Gonzalez. Cast your votes at BlueJays.com. Fans are allowed to vote a maximum of 25 times per email address. Vote early, vote often. The MLB All-Star Game. Alex Gonzalez, certainly a candidate to go to the All-Star Game in July. Great start to his season. 10 home runs, 29 RBI. Takes the first pitch breaking ball. 1-0 Twins lead it. Bottom of the second inning. Kevin Slowey gave up back-to-back 2-out hits in the first, but then struck out Lyle Overbay to strand 2. Foul back over the screen. What kind of pressure does it put on a hitter to be facing a guy like Slowey who works so quickly?
Well, especially if he's sharp and he's pitching to both sides of the plate very effectively like he has so far here this evening. It's not so much that the pace that he works at, it's his location, and when he's ahead in the count, you don't have the opportunity to be very selective, sit on one particular pitch, one location. Now you got to try to cover the entire plate. I always thought it was very difficult with a command type pitcher when you got behind in the count. They were very good usually at finishing you off. Like you get a guy that maybe doesn't command quite as well, he might jump out ahead in the count, but if you're patient, you can work that count back into your favor. Much more difficult against a control type pitcher.
Wow, that's pretty good. Gary Cederstrom, the home plate umpire, must have felt that ball ran off the plate inside. 3 balls, 2 strikes, no outs here in the second. Right back inside. This time Gonzalez hammers it into left field. Came right back in on that inside half, and Gonzalez hit it hard. I mentioned Jose Bautista was named the Player of the Week in the American League, and he's had a great month of May.
Yes, he has. 13 RBIs in May. That ties Vernon Wells for the club lead.
Boy, a lot of balance on this team all of a sudden.
And he had a big weekend against the Rangers. 5 RBIs in the game on Friday night. Big 3-run home run in the 8th on Saturday.
Bautista now with 10 home runs. He said he's not trying to hit home runs, just trying to hit the ball hard, and they've been going out of the ballpark on a regular basis. A ball and a strike. Last year in the 8 games between these two ball clubs, the Blue Jays won 5 of the 8.
Bautista coming into tonight's ball game has 34 hits on the year, 20 of them for extra bases.
Breaking ball missed down. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now look, Gonzalez led off the second with a single into left. Three and two.
Well, and it's interesting. Slowey against Gonzalez jumped out to that 1-2 count, came all the way back 3-2. Alex Gonzalez singles to left field, gets ahead in the count to Bautista. Now Bautista's worked that count all the way back full. And, you know, we talked about it. The more pitches a hitter sees, the more often he's going to hit a ball hard.
He hit it hard, but foul down the left field line.
We saw a great example of that with Delman Young. 3-2 count. Saw a lot of pitches in the bat. Ends up homering to left center.
Now Bautista now will see the 6th pitch in this at bat and had a chance to get something going here in the second. Gonzalez was not running on the previous full count. Not going again. Fouled out of play. The reason you keep Gonzalez at first base is there's a lot of strikeouts in this lineup. There's a lot of thunder in the lineup, but a lot of strikeouts as well.
The two usually go hand in hand. When you have a lot of thunder, you're going to strike out. And you don't want to have that situation where you get a strikeout, throw him out at second base.
Hammered to left field down the line. That's got the distance. That is a home run. Number 11, a 2-run shot for Jose Bautista, and he saw just enough pitches from Kevin Slowey.
Well, and the last 3 were fastballs, and sooner or later when you're swinging the bat as well as Bautista is, he's going to catch up with one and time it, and he most certainly did here. Fastball inside, pulls his hands in, and hits a rocket just fair down the left field line. And he is on a tear.
31 RBI now for Jose Bautista. John Buck.
Another guy in this lineup that's been swinging a hot bat with the 3 RBIs yesterday. He now has 17 RBIs in his last 11 starts prior to tonight's ball game.
Base hit left field for John Buck. We mentioned it's a tough lineup for Kevin Slowey coming in. This lineup was hitting .370 against him. Bautista, his 11th home run was a rocket down the left field line. Rick Anderson, the pitching coach, out of the dugout.
Here you get another look at the home run by Jose Bautista. And right here, you know, he's just saying to himself, stay fair.
And that moves Bautista into a tie for second place with Evan Longoria and Vladdy Guerrero in RBI. At 31, he only trails Miguel Cabrera in the American League. Cabrera has 36 RBI. Bautista now with 31. Randy Ruiz, the DH. Still nobody out. All the way back to the screen, and Buck will move into second. So wild pitch charged to Kevin Slowey.
Well, it looked as if Joe Mauer, he just tried to backhand the ball in the dirt as opposed to slide over and try to get in front of it. Of course, it looked like it was a cut fastball, and you know, with that fastball, you don't anticipate the ball in the dirt as much. You see there, he just tries to backhand it, and it looked like it hit off his shin guard. You know, oftentimes as a catcher, if you call for that breaking ball, the first thing you do is anticipate something in the dirt so that you don't get a little bit lazier. You kind of prepare yourself to be ready to go in the event that they bounce it.
The wild pitch moves Buck into scoring position.
Yeah, and think that Ruiz might be trying to hit the ball the other way here, and based upon the swing he took at that 1-0 fastball, he looked like he was well out in front. And if you make that out, make it on the right side of the diamond so that you move the runner over to third base with just one out.
Seems to be a little confusion here between Slowey and Joe Mauer now. Ruiz batting in the 9th spot as the DH. Blue Jays, on the 2-run home run by Jose Bautista, have taken the lead here, bottom of the second. Down the left field line, but foul.
Well, this inning's been somewhat of an example of, you know, you're Kevin Slowey and you're not overpowering. You make some mistakes in the middle of the plate. Don't get the pitch where you're trying to. You don't get away with it as often as those power arms, such as a Brandon Morrow, who can sometimes, if need be, just reach back and challenge the hitter.
2-2 in the dirt. Mauer was able to block that ball and keep John Buck at second. Travis Snyder is on the bench. He has been placed on the disabled list with a sprained right wrist. It's unfortunate of the timing because he was just starting to get hot. Last couple of weeks he's been swinging the bat as well as anybody on this club. And now the unfortunate injury has forced him on the DL. The Blue Jays announced that prior to the game, and that Edwin Encarnacion will join the team and be here in time for the game tomorrow afternoon. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Randy Ruiz. Ground ball. Hudson at second. Ruiz moves Buck to third. Good at bat.
Well, it was a productive out. Hard ground ball to the right side. That moved the runner along to third. A lot more ways to score that runner off of third base than there are from second, and that's going to force the Twins to bring the infield in, try to cut the run off.
This really plays into Fred Lewis's hand in that it really limits the range of the infielders. Ball ran back over and caught the inside corner. Fred Lewis didn't think so. Chance to drive in a run here. Less than 2 outs. Runner at third base. Lewis has 13 RBI.
His shortstop and the second baseman are now playing at about halfway. Not all the way in. That, of course, because of John Buck off of third base, doesn't run exceptionally well. So that allows you to play a little deeper in the middle, kind of extend that range a little bit.
Foul back over the screen. What's the mindset now for Brian Butterfield and John Buck down at third base? with Aaron Hill on deck? Do you send him on contact, or you got to play it safe?
You know, that's a call that usually comes from the manager. It'd be manager Cito Gaston relay the sign to Brian Butterfield to indicate, do you want him to go on contact, or do you want to make a ground ball go through? We'll see how they elect to play it.
Inside strike 3. Kevin Sloy made a couple of real good pitches to Fred Lewis on the inside corner and racks up the strikeout.
Well, the two-seam fastball, very good movement, starts it off the plate, brings it back to the corner. Get a good look at it here.
That's such a tough pitch because you see it out of the hand off the plate inside, and then it takes over and catches the inside corner. 2 outs now for Aaron Hill.
You know, you go back to, do you start that runner on contact with 1 out off of third base? And it's never really made a lot of sense to me sometimes, especially if you don't have someone that's fast off of third, to start him and just run him into an out. And
right.
Then okay, let's say the runner moves, the guy that hits the ball moves up to second base and in the scoring position, but now you still have to get a base hit to score him. If you don't go off of third on a ground ball to an infielder, they get the out at first. Okay, now you still have a runner at third with 2 out, but, you know, wild pitch, pass ball, somebody makes an error, he can score. Never really understood that.
There's the ball in the dirt, but Mauer smothered it. It really didn't make any sense, especially where you are in your lineup. And the fact that the Blue Jays already have 5 hits off of Kevin Sloy. So why risk a runner at third when your guys are zeroed in pretty good on Sloy? 2 balls and a strike to Aaron Hill.
Well, and oftentimes if the runner off of third gets in a rundown and executed property, the hitter is not even able to advance to second base, so you end up with 2 out and a runner at first.
John Buck singled. Went to second on the wild pitch, moved to third on the ground out by Ruiz. 2-2, 2 outs. Good pop-up. In talking about Aaron Hill with Cito Gaston, the one thing that Cito Gaston thinks is causing some problems for Hill is just trying to hit too many pitches, and you get anxious. And guy's still hitting under 200, coming off a terrific season.
I was talking to Aaron Hill during batting practice today.
Fly ball left field. Elman Young over toward the line, and he makes the catch. But the Blue Jays erase a 1-0 deficit with 1 swing of the bat from Jose Bautista. He's on fire. His 11th home run. He drives in 2. Jays all look so good. Give us the opportunity to do this wonderful job. And Terry and Martin, happy birthday and thanks for all your hard work. Joe Mauer steps in to face Dana Evelyn. He struck out against Evelyn in the first. Blue Jays lead it 2-1 here, top of the third inning. Bouncing ball through the infield into center field. Leadoff base hit for Mauer. Tough to keep Mauer and Morneau quiet all night long. Mauer now hitting .350. Morneau came in leading the American League at .362. That's where he stands after a walk in the first. Pitch up in the zone. Right side of the infield pretty much straight away, but the left side you can see Bautista almost straight away at shortstop, and Gonzalez is up the middle.
Which really what that tells you is if he pulls the ball, chances are he's much more apt if he pulls it, at least on the, if he hits the ball on the ground, is what I'm trying to say. I'll get to it in a minute here. It's more likely than not he's going to pull the ball.
Change up down, 2 balls and a strike.
And it's really interesting because the outfield virtually is just straight away.
Now, and the way they derive these defenses is the spray charts. They get advanced scouting reports. They look at the past history. You can see the outfield is basically straight away. Now Gonzalez has moved to the right side of second base.
Because Morneau's ahead in the count, 2-1.
And he did pull the ball.
And again, you just look for the tendencies and the percentages, and that says that when Morneau is ahead in the count, that's when he's really looking for something that he can pull and drive and hit hard. And that was the case there. He pulls the ball hard but foul.
You can see Brian Butterfield and Nick Leva talking about the defense, and they'll get that advanced report and break it down and try to match up the defense accordingly. Fouled out of play. And
really, that tells you how good a hitter Morneau really is. I mean, he's hitting .362, and yet the defenses are really geared. I mean, they're definitely playing the percentages, and they're going to catch, that defense is going to catch a lot of balls that are hit hard because of their correct positioning.
Little poke down the left field line, not fair, just crept into foul territory. That could have been dangerous. Talk about Morneau's ability to spray the ball around. You can see the balance in his attack, and he doesn't have to hit the ball to the pull side of the diamond and knock it out of the ballpark. Two balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Joe Mauer at first. Got him. Inside fastball ties up Morneau.
He just missed that, just swung right through the pitch. It didn't look like it fooled him. He looked like he was on it, but just swung underneath it.
One out now for Michael Kadire. Good pitch down and away. Kadire leads the American League in grounding into double plays. He's hit into 11. Fly ball deep center field. Brendan Wells on the warning track. Mauer going back to tag at first, but he can't advance.
Well, Joe Mauer about halfway down to second base and started retreating to first when he realized that Wells was going to make the catch. And then at the last moment tried to tag and thought about going, but the tag was too late. If he goes back and tags up right away, might have been able to move up.
Jason Kubel with 2 outs. Right under the glove of Overbay at first base. Mauer around second. He's headed to third. Fred Lewis gets the ball back to the infield. That was a base hit, but one that Overbay normally hauls in. Mauer goes first to third. Kubel stops at first. Hit hard on the ground.
But Lyle Overbay, a very good defensive first baseman, just doesn't get the glove down. And the ball goes right underneath it. You know, as an infielder, the first move that you should make on a ball hit like that is to get the glove down, even on the ground if you have to, because it's always easier to react coming up than it is to try to react going down and making that adjustment. Ball gets underneath the glove of Lyle Overbay.
Delman Young cuts on a first pitch changeup and misses. Young homered in his last at bat, leading off the second. Runners at the corners. 2 outs. Cued off the end of the bat. That's a fair ball. Young is retired. Dana Evans strands 2 more. He's stranded 6 to this point. Blue Jays lead it 2-1. Leading here, bottom of the third inning. Adam Lind had a single in his first at bat. Kevin Slowey has been working the left-handers predominantly inside. He had a big strike out of Fred Lewis last inning with an inside 2-seam fastball. Just missed off the plate. Lynn's single in the first inning snapped an 0 for 7. Two balls, 2 strikes. Left field, Delman Young toward the foul line. Makes the catch.
Since '07, the Jays have pretty much had their way with the Minnesota Twins. 17 wins against them, against the Twins with just 7. And you can see the story tells 3.28 ERA. They've out-hit the Twins. Hit 20 more home runs over that span.
Vernon Wells back over the 300 mark with a base hit in the first. Slowly out in front, 0-2. Well, when you think about the Twins, you think about a team that's built for the long haul. They don't make any mistakes. They don't walk anybody. They have been in the postseason. Last year, they lost 3 straight to the Yankees in a division series. What a rocket that was, right back up the middle. Out over the plate, and he didn't miss it.
And for the second time this evening, Vernon Wells has hit a ball hard right back through the middle. And he didn't miss this one. He squares it up right back over the head of Slowey.
Now, the biggest difference for me in Vernon Wells' approach is his quickness. I mean, he can let that ball travel, and he is not worried about getting the head out. He can wait on it and then just explode. Great short swing working. To the left side, and Elman Young comes in and makes the catch. 2 outs. Ron Gardenhire, been the manager of this Twins team since 2002. He has just kind of continued what Tom Kelly started.
Just a steady hand, just great execution, fundamentals. And since he's taken over as manager in 9 seasons, they've averaged a little better than 88 wins per season. He's done an outstanding job.
Alex Gonzalez. Oh, he takes a little too much time.
And it's basically a small market team. I mean, they don't have the money to go out and sign the big name free agents, at least most certainly not with any kind of consistency or year in, year out. So they've had to develop, and they've done an outstanding job of doing that.
Strike on the inside corner. One thing that has changed for that in the last couple of years has been the way they have signed Mauer and Morneau and Kadire and Baker. They have committed for the long haul, and their salary has crept up over $90 million this year. Of course, they knew in advance that they were going to have a new ballpark and a new revenue stream. Target Field opened up this year. Beautiful new ballpark in downtown Minneapolis. So they had to make commitments to Mauer and Morneau. Mauer was a potential free agent at the end of this year. Morneau has been signed, as we mentioned, through 2013.
Well, they took their core players and locked them up for many, many years, which means now you just continue every year to build around that core group of players, and you keep a very competitive ball club.
Plus, those core players set a high standard. They play it the right way, and when your star players are playing it the right way, everybody is just kind of sucked up in their wake. A ball and 2 strikes to Alex Gonzalez. Wells at first base. His second hit of the night. Popped back over the screen. You mentioned Ron Gardenhire. The Twins have had only 2 managers since 1987. And during that span, they've had 7 division titles, 2 American League Championship Series titles, and 2 World Series titles. Consistency. Changeup popped up right near the bag at second, and Hudson makes the play. We've played 3 here at the Rogers Center. The Blue Jays are up on jshop.ca or 1-877-JSHOP. So if you need some Blue Jays apparel, just log on to jshop.ca. Move to the 4th inning here at the Rogers Center. This is the first game of a 2-game series. The Twins will be back later on for a 3-game series. They'll play 5 games here this year at the Rogers Center. Check swing, foul at the plate. Brendan Harris, the shortstop, flied to center in his first at-bat. Harris came from Tampa Bay in that Delman Young deal. He and Delman Young came to Minneapolis for Garza and Bartlett. At the time, Delman Young had just come off a 93 RBI season. Everybody was a little bit surprised they made that trade, but boy, it really satisfied a couple of glowing needs for the Rays. Shortstop and a starting pitcher. A ball and 2 strikes to the leadoff hitter here in the 4th. Twins got out in front on Delman Young's solo home run, his 4th of the season. That came in the top of the 2nd. And then right back in the bottom of the 2nd, Jose Bautista hit a 2-run homer. Left side, Gonzalez backhand deep at shortstop. What a play. Took the backhand on the shortstop, and he's asking Bautista, you couldn't get over and cut that ball off?
Well, yesterday he did, and they collided. But a great backhand, quick snap throw, strong arm right on the money to get Harris at first base. The 2nd time tonight, an outstanding defensive play by Alex Gonzalez.
He has such good hands and such great instincts. He can make adjustments on the fly.
But you could tell by the way he went after the ball and the way he reacted that he did think that Bautista was going to cut the ball off. And it almost led to a base hit.
Nick Punto takes the first pitch strike.
Bautista has very, very good range to his left.
On the ground towards second. Big hop for Aaron Hill. 2 up, 2 down here in the 4th. It'll be interesting to see how Cito Gaston makes out the lineup. Edwin Encarnacion is scheduled to join the ball club tomorrow. And I don't know that too many managers complain about having too many good players, but certainly Jose Bautista is going to be in the lineup somewhere. Yeah, I've never heard a manager call up the GM and say, listen, I got too many good players here. You're going to have to take some of these guys away.
No, I don't think. The first thought that comes to my mind is that you could either stay with this lineup right here and DH Encarnacion for a little while till he finds his groove at the plate.
Inside the bag at first. That's a fair ball. Span has good speed. He's around the bag at first going into second base. The throw is cut off. It's a 2-out double for Denard Span. His 6th of the season.
Well, again, because of his speed, it leads to an extra base hit. Lyle Overbay having to play very shallow to respect the bunt. And a ball that otherwise he would be able to get to easily skips past him, and Denard Span has a double. Or you could put Encarnacion at third, put Lind at DH, put Bautista in right field, move Lewis back over to left. That is also an option, but point well made. You have to keep Jose Bautista in the lineup somewhere right now.
Yeah, he's staying in my lineup, that's for sure. Orlando Hudson with Span at second base and 2 outs. Twins are down by a run. In case you've just joined us, Travis Snyder, the young outfielder, has been placed on the disabled list this afternoon with a sprained right wrist. There's Snyder on the bench. Very disappointing timing as Snyder was really starting to heat up. So he's on a DL, and Edwin Encarnacion is on his way to Toronto. Base hit up the middle. Span has great speed. He's around third, headed for the plate. Here comes the throw to the plate, not nearly in time. And the Twins have tied it up on back-to-back hits with 2 outs.
And Orlando Hudson with his 2nd hit of the night. He doubled in his first at bat, but this one produces a run. Line drive right back through the middle, and of course with Span's speed, no chance for Wells to throw him out. But he did keep that throw down and through the cutoff man, and that kept Orlando Hudson from moving up into scoring position.
2 outs now for Joe Mauer. Mauer singled to center in the 3rd. First pitch strike. Off the plate, a ball on the strike. Look around baseball, there are an awful lot of catchers off to great starts this season. It's nothing new for Joe Mauer. But John Buck's had a great start to his season. 8 home runs, 23 RBI. Yadi Molina with the Cardinals. He's driven in 22 runs. Carlos Ruiz of the Phillies hitting .340. A lot of catchers off to great starts. Even young Matt Wieters in Baltimore off to a good start offensively. But John Buck is among the best at the power numbers. Home runs, extra base hits, RBI. Ground ball bouncing off the glove of Aaron Hill. Hudson around second, headed to third. And he'll make it. Joe Mauer with a bouncing ball base hit off the glove of Aaron Hill. I don't know if there would have been any play for Aaron Hill, even if he catches this.
Well, great effort. Aaron Hill lays out, and even if he does come up with it cleanly, he's not going to be able to throw Mauer out at first base. But he would have prevented Hudson from moving all the way around to third. And for the 2nd time tonight, just a bouncing ball up the middle leads to a base hit for Mauer.
Justin Morneau. It's the first pitch down. Morneau 0 for 1 with a walk. Morneau comes into this series with a career 177 batting average here at the Rogers Center. Just 11 hits now in 63 at bats. This is one of the better hitters in all of baseball, having a tough time here in this ballpark.
He would think, as good a hitter as he is, that a tough time in this ballpark would be somewhere around 270, 275. That'd be a struggle for him.
Another ball passed Overbay at first base. Hudson in to score. Mauer's going first to third. People are booing, but I tell you what, those balls have been hit like bullets past Overbay. He didn't have much of a chance on that one.
Well, you have to hold the runner on and then try to move off the bag as the pitcher delivers to the plate, and this ball was hit very hard. But again, just didn't keep that glove down. If he keeps the glove down, he makes the play.
4 straight 2-out hits for the Twins now against Cleveland, and they have retaken the lead at 3-2. Michael Kadire. Good off-speed pitch. Evens up count at 1-1. This is a tough part of the lineup. I don't care how many outs you have. You get through this part of the lineup, you know you're going to have some tough outs.
And Mauer and Morneau are not oftentimes the typical left-handed hitters who, when they're facing left-handed pitching, you can slow them down quite a bit. That's not the case with Mauer and Morneau. I don't think it matters to them who's on the mound. When they're swinging the bat well, as they both are right now, they're going to hit the ball hard consistently.
Joe Mauer came into this game batting .378 against lefties. That will go up. Justin Morneau came in batting .365 against lefties. That doesn't make any difference who they're facing. Bouncing ball left side. Bautista this time cuts in front of Gonzalez in time. Oh, dropped the ball. Over to third base, past Gonzalez. Morneau gets up and he'll score. Now the Blue Jays are throwing it all over the place. Morneau scores. Bautista made a pretty good throw. Looked like they were going to get Kadire. Mauer comes in to score. Morneau scores right behind him.
Well, it looked as if Lyle Overbay initially thought the ball might be in the dirt and started to stretch and make the play accordingly, but the ball isn't. It stays up. Looked like it hit him right in the end of his webbing, and he's unable to hold on to it. And then the throw right into the runner at third base. No chance for Alex Gonzalez.
And it sounds as though they have given Lyle Overbay 2 errors on the play. One for the drop throw from Bautista, and then one on the throw that allowed Morneau to come home and score. The Twins have scored 4 here in the top of the 4th, all with 2 outs. Kadire's at second. Ball gets away from Buck. He didn't know where it was, and Kadire moves over to third.
You're playing a ball club like the Minnesota Twins. You just can't give them more than 3 outs in an inning. They're going to take advantage of it, and that's been the case here in the top of the 4th.
Robbie Lewis is loosening up. He is close to being ready. There's Rick Langford on the phone letting him know that he is ready. All of this happening with 2 outs. Two-out walk to Kubel. Evelyn retired Harris and Punto. First 2 batters of the inning, and then Span had a double down the right field line. Hudson drove him in with a single. Bauer had an infield base hit, and then Morneau picked up the RBI on a single, and then the wheels fell off the defense. Here's Walton out to talk to Evelyn now, but the one thing that Walton knows can't happen is that Evelyn walks these Twins hitters. Yeah, the defense has let you down now, but you got to pitch your way out of it. 9th man to bat in this inning will be Delman Young.
Well, after the 2 errors that allowed 2 runs to score, it only makes sense that a young pitcher would maybe be a little bit rattled right now at this point.
Ground ball. Gonzalez backhand flip in time to get Kubel at second. 9 men come to the plate. The Twins score 4. They lead it 5-2. Four runs in the top of the 4th. 2 earned runs, 2 unearned runs. While Overbay was charged with 2 errors in that inning. But it all started with 2 outs, nobody on. Red hot Jose Bautista. A 2-run home run in his last at bat. His 11th of the season. Two balls and no strikes. Bautista was named the American League Player of the Week for his efforts last week at .444.
You know, down 3 here in the bottom of the 4th. The way the Jays have been playing lately, you'd have to feel like they don't really think too much about that. They most certainly possess the power to respond very quickly and get themselves back into a tie ball game, even take the lead.
Check swing up the first base line, slowly across the baseline, hits the runner. And they call him out for being out of the running lane. Bautista is going to be called out. Cito Gaston's coming out of the dugout. But that's the reason for that running lane. 45 feet up the base path. Gary Cedarstrom, the home plate umpire, followed Bautista right up the line. And Cito Gaston didn't even argue. Bautista, because he was out of that running lane, is called for interfering with the throw.
You can see he's in fair territory, and that's the correct call. He has to be either right on that line or just in foul territory. Then if he's hit by the throw, he's safe.
That is a put out 2 unassisted to the catcher. But that's the sole purpose of that running lane. And on a play just like that, the batter runner has to have at least 1 foot in contact with that running lane up the first baseline. Looks like Kevin Slowey just went to his mouth and was charged with a ball. And Gary Empire. Gary Cedarstrom now talking with Ron Gardenhire. And Gardenhire had a question for him. A ball and 2 strikes is the correct count. A ball and 2 strikes. And we have seen that a couple of times where a pitcher will go to his mouth and not wipe his hand after going to his mouth. It's a new rule this year that a pitcher can go to his mouth while standing on the dirt area of the mound.
As long as he wipes it off after he does, correct?
That's it.
You see there, he didn't wipe off, puts the baseball back in his hand, and that's when he was charged with a ball.
Went right to the ball, and that's the problem. If you go to your uniform and wipe your hand clean, then it's not an infraction. A ball and 2 strikes. Down the right side. But the rule was implemented to speed play so the pitchers would stay on top of the mound. As long as they are not standing on the pitching rubber, they can go to their mouth. One out here in bottom of the 4th inning. Broken bat. Twins jumped out on front with a solo home run in the top of the 2nd by Delman Young. Bautista hit a 2-run shot, bottom of the 2nd. And then the Twins stormed back with 4 runs in the air half of the 4th. All coming with 2 outs. Aided by a couple of errors. John Buck, a ball and 2 strikes. Popped up into shallow right. Kadire coming in. 2 outs. The DH, Randy Ruiz. That off-speed breaking pitch. Right back over the pitcher's mound. Hudson on the shortstop side of second. What a play. There's the range we were talking about from the former Gold Glover. Orlando Hudson on the left side of second base, throwing back across his body in time to get Ruiz. Eastern time, 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, UEFA Champions League final. Top of the fifth inning. Twins lead at 5-2. Brendan Harris will lead off the fifth inning. He also led off the fourth inning. They sent 9 men to the plate and scored 4 runs. Two balls, no strikes. Three and 0. Rami Lewis is warming up in the Blue Jays bullpen. He has been ready. There's a 4-pitch walk to start the fifth, and Cito Gaston didn't hesitate. He popped out of the mound, out of the dugout, and made the call already for Rami Lewis. So Cito Gaston will make the pitching change here as the Twins lead off the fifth with a leadoff walk. They lead at 5-2. Rami Lewis will come in. 5 runs, 3 of which are earned. Robbie Lewis comes on for the 7th time this season.
Robbie Lewis overall has done a fine job for the Jays, pitching out of the bullpen. 3.24 ERA. Opponents hitting just .226 against him. And he'll be here in a situation to try to hold the Twins at bay over the next couple of 3 innings and give the Jays a chance to play some catch-up.
So Lewis will work to the switch hitter Nick Punto, who will stay on the right side. First pitch outside. Blue Jays guarding against the bunt. Mentioned the Twins and how sound they are fundamentally. You would expect them to try to take advantage of that leadoff walk. Bautista in front of the bag at third.
Well, that's the way the Twins play it. They'll take advantage of every opportunity. And not necessarily a bunting situation, but if Punto were to lay one down, we'll certainly move that runner along into scoring position. And then you go back to the top of your lineup, Bernard Span and Orlando Hudson.
Swinging away, he fouls it back. Twins have 8 sacrifice bunts this season. Texas Rangers have the most. They have 16 sacrifices, followed by Kansas City with 15.
But even just the threat of the bunt forces Bautista to play in shallow, and of course that cuts down on his range at third base.
A ball and a strike. Harris does not have a steal attempt this year. But certainly the way Punto handles the bat, they could play hit and run.
Well, here's a situation where if they elect to play hit and runs, good count to do so, 2-1. Not a count that normally you would pitch out in.
Fouled back. Robbie Lewis has not pitched since Friday night when he came into the game in the 7th inning. Faced 2 batters and walked them both. But he was bailed out by a very good effort from Jason Frazier. With the bases loaded, Frazier got the force out at the plate and then got Josh Hamilton to ground out to end the inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the Twins' third baseman. Robbie Lewis has done a pretty good job of retiring the first batter he has faced. 5 of 6 this year. He's retired. Make that 6 of 7. Big strikeout. Nick Punto goes down with the bat on his shoulder.
Well, Punto reacts to this 2-2 fastball as if he had something other than fastball maybe in the back of his mind. You can see he really doesn't even offer at it, and clearly the ball is no doubt a strike.
Now here's where Robbie Lewis really has to be aggressive against the left-handed batting Bernard Span. And he does jump ahead. Left-handers just 2 for 16 this year against Robbie Lewis. Bernard Span sparked the rally in the 4th inning with a 2-out double. Scored 1 of the 4 runs that inning. Late on a fastball.
Well, Denard Span does have the type of style at the plate. He's just tries to wait, short, quick, compact swing, let the ball get deep, hit the ball on the ground, and you take advantage of his great speed. So it would make sense that he would have some success against left-handed pitching because he's not a big free swinger, doesn't pull off the ball.
Line drive to third, back to first, in time, double play. Brandon Harris, that ball was all the way across the infield, and he strayed too far. Bautista quick to first base for the double play. Great baseball fans, friends that get a chance to get a close perspective. Those seats provided courtesy of TD Canada Trust. Anxious for a Blue Jays comeback here. The Jays trail it by 3 as they bat bottom of the 5th inning. Fred Lewis pops up the first pitch, back out of play, 0 for 2. Lewis was caught looking in the second. Struck out. Good pitch by Kevin Slowey, got him. 0-2. Don't expect Kevin Slowey to walk you back into the ball game. The Twins allow the fewest base on balls in the American League. So you're going to have to hit yourself back into this game.
And they typically don't hurt themselves defensively either. They've made the fewest errors in baseball, just 8.
Well, that's been a trademark of the Twins teams, and you can go back all the way to Tom Kelly era. They emphasize defense. So much so that they start their day in spring training every single day with what they call Good Morning America, a team defensive drill that takes place every day before they ever grab a bat. Fred Lewis off the glove of Morneau into right field. Base hit Fred Lewis. That starts the 5th.
They got Fred Lewis, caught him looking last time, starting the fastball off the plate and bringing it back to the corner. They tried to go back again. The ball ran out over the plate, and Fred Lewis hits it so hard that Morneau, with a great effort, unable to come up with the catch right off the end of his glove.
Well, the Blue Jays have some work to do. They trail it by 3 here. I think Aaron Hill was looking for that pitch.
I don't know if he was looking for it, but I know where he was trying to hit it. That wasn't a swing that led you to believe he's trying to hit that little soft single to right field, was it?
He turned it loose, found it straight back, slowly out in front. No balls and a strike. Good cut at that one as well.
I was talking to him today and brought up some hitter's name, and I don't recall who it was, but he was struggling also. I said, yeah, he's struggling. He's hitting about $195. He goes, that looks pretty good to me right now. He goes, that's not struggling. He's on a pretty good run.
Hill in a hole, 0-2. Left field, Delman Young back. He's got room in front of the warning track. And he brings it in. Hill's retired.
The pitch just in enough. It looked like it ran in on Aaron Hill, his hands just a little bit. He tried to pull him in, but didn't quite get there. You can see his reaction.
Adam Lynn now with Fred Lewis at first base and 1 out. Off-speed pitch he's out in front of. 0-1. Lynn has a hit in 2 trips tonight. He is now 6 for 10 against Kevin Slowey.
You saw Adam Lynn chase that first pitch breaking ball well out in front of it. And what Adam Lynn last year, and when he's going well, does very well, is he's very selective. He picks a pitch that he wants to look for, and he'll stay with it, and he will not offer it anything else until the count dictates that he has to. And it just seems like this year he's pressing a little bit, maybe trying to, kind of like Aaron Hill, hit kind of everything they throw up there instead of just go back to what has always worked before and stay with it.
Alex Burnett, the right-hander, loosening up for the Twins. Fifth inning. Twins out in front 5-2. Bouncing ball over the mound. Hudson goes the first to retire Lynn. Fred Lewis moves up. Vernon Wells 2 for 2. These are 2 base hits to center. Joe Mauer out with some instructions to his right-hander Kevin Slowey.
Well, it's interesting. Kevin Slowey, he's given up 7 hits here in the ball game. He hasn't walked anybody, yet that last pitch to Adam Lynn was his 92nd pitch on the night. And just 4 2/3 so far.
Off the plate outside. In Slowey's last outing, he lasted just 4 2/3 and gave up 8 hits to the White Sox. Left the game trailing 5-1. Foul off the glove of Mauer. Fred Lewis is at second for Wells.
Well, Kevin Slowey's only pitched beyond the 5th inning just once. Coming into the night's ball game in 7 starts. And that's probably why Ron Gardenhire has Pitcher up and throwing out there in the bullpen, ready to go.
2 balls and a strike. Base hit center field. Fred Lewis rounds third base. He's headed for home. The throw from Span cut off. Vernon Wells 3 for 3. It's a 5-3 game.
Well, and Vernon Wells having himself quite a night. 3rd single to center in a row. Hits this one a little bit off the end of the bat. Make it a 5-3 ball game.
Boy, Wells is just taking what the pitcher gives him. If it's away, he goes with it. If it's inside, he turns on it. Lyle Overbay, 0 for 2. Outside. Blue Jays are going to get into the Twins bullpen. Fly ball left field toward the foul line. Delman Young, just in fair territory, makes the catch. Vernon Wells 3 for 3 makes it a 2-run game. Twins lead 5-3. Hits, he had an RBI in the 4th inning, and he scored a run. Rami Lewis did a good job. Struck out the first batter he faced in the 5th after Dana Evelyn walked the leadoff batter, and then Lewis got Denard Span to line into an inning-ending double play. Right field. Fred Lewis battling the light, stays with it. This pitching line is brought to you by MLB 10, the show, only on PlayStation.
Dana Evelyn in 4 innings of work tonight, the 9 hits. But again, he struggled with command. 4 walks. He was behind in the count in many occasions. A lot of 3-2 counts. Total of 88 pitches. And was not sharp here in this ball game this evening.
Joe Mauer 2 for 3 tonight. mentioned both Maurer and Morneau, how good they are against left-handed pitching. It doesn't make any difference. You can bring in left-handers, you can bring in specialists. They will battle you tough. There's a strike.
They're so good against left-handed pitching that it really, I mean, you could make a good argument that sometimes if you have a right-hander out in the bullpen that's been on a good run and throwing the baseball very well, you might as well go on and bring him in to pitch to either Maurer or Morneau, because left-handers most certainly do not give them any problems.
A ball and a strike to Joe Maurer. Jammed him. Bautista from shortstop in time to get Maurer. That ball was in on his fist, barely got to Bautista, but he unloads in a hurry.
Well, in a nice play, you see the big swing in the. It will sometimes, as an infielder, freeze you just for a moment, and then you realize the ball's hit very slowly, and you have to go get it and make a quick snap throw, and just ahead of Maurer at first base.
Bautista's really played well, whether it's at third base or in right field. Morneau with 2 outs had an RBI in the 4th. First time the Twins have seen Rami Lewis. So both Maurer and Morneau took the pitch, and there's that shift again with 3 defenders on the right side of the infield. Long fly ball right field. Fred Lewis back. Warning track. Wall. Gone. Home run. Justin Morneau. His 10th home run of the season.
Well, Morneau gets himself a hanging breaking ball. Waits on it. And then just lets it go.
Great extension. That ball out over the plate. Fred Lewis helplessly just watches it sail over the wall. Only the 4th home run Morneau has hit at the Rogers Center. This is his 17th game. Mentioned Morneau from Vancouver. Home runs by Canadians. Matt Stairs leads the way. He's in San Diego. Jason Bay with the Mets, and Morneau closing in on Jason Bay. Grew up a fan of the Blue Jays, John Olerud. Anytime he comes in here, I'm sure that enters his mind. Watching those great Blue Jays teams, the early 90s. Back up to a 3-run lead for the Twins now at 6-3. Gadier walks for a 2nd time tonight.
There's been some, especially over the last 2.5 decades, been some very good Canadians play in the major leagues. Very good players. The first one that always comes to my mind is Walker, Larry Walker. He's a great player for many, many years.
MVP. Yeah, they could do everything literally. Run, throw, steal bases, hit with power, hit for average. Sean Kemp loosening up.
The guy I played against in the minor leagues, didn't play against him in the big leagues because he spent his career in the National League. It was Terry Poole. Had a very fine career.
Mason Kubel fouls off the first pitch. Kubel had the grand slam home run in yesterday's game for the Twins. That came against Mariano Rivera in the 8th inning of that game. There goes Dyer. Fouled off.
And that doesn't happen often against Rivera, who I think most people, if not everyone, feel that he's the best closer that's ever played the game. He's virtually unhittable. And it was interesting, his comment, because he walked Tomey to load the bases before Kubel came to the plate, and he said, you know, you're going to give up home runs, a grand slam once in a while, but you can't walk people in that situation.
0-2 outside the Kubel. Yeah, that blown save for Rivera snapped a streak of 51 consecutive saves at home. I mean, he nearly invincible, and the Yankee fans were stunned. This doesn't happen very often, and now Bruce Walton is coming out of the dugout. He's talking a little bit about trying to get out of this situation now. He's talking with John Buck about the approach to Kubel here. You can see how he first addressed the catcher, and now he's turning his attention to the pitcher, reminding these two about the approach. This is the first time the Blue Jays have seen the Twins. So Walton saw something in the approach he wasn't too pleased with, and went out there just to remind his pitcher and catcher how he wanted to finish this at bat. A ball and 2 strikes. Kadire at first. Lewis thought he had struck him out. The Twins lead at 6-3. 5 of the 6 runs have scored with 2 outs. Full count. Kubel had been struggling up until that grand slam. He came into yesterday's game with just 11 RBI. Kadire will go on the pitch. Fouled off.
Well, yesterday afternoon, he goes down and gets a cut fastball down and in, and hits it out of the ballpark. Grand slam for Jason Kubel.
Another full count pitch to Kubel. He struck him out. Tommy Lewis strikes out Kubel to end the 6th, but Justin Morneau with a 2-out home run into the bullpen in right, his 10th of the season. Twins Suns versus Lakers, game 1. Steve Nash trying to lead the Suns against Kobe Bryant and the Lakers, plus the Jays post game. New pitcher in here for the 6th inning will be Alex Burnett, making his 12th appearance. Kevin Slowey out after 5 innings, but he's in line for the win.
Impressive number, 17 and a third innings of work, 19 strikeouts.
Good 4-seam fastball for a strike. Base hit right field for Alex Gonzalez.
The pitching line for Kevin Slowey this evening goes 5 innings. He gives up 8 hits, but he didn't walk anybody. 2 strikeouts, and leaves this ball game with a 3-run lead and a chance to win it. But he did his job. When you're the type of pitcher again that's going to give up 8, 9, 10 hits, oftentimes when you go out there, you just can't put base runners on with the base on ball.
Jose Bautista, his 11th home run of the season, put the Jays out in front in the 2nd inning. Bouncing ball over the mound right behind the bag. Orlando Hudson steps on second and goes to first for the double play. That bounding ball took the second baseman right to the bag.
Well, a nice job by Orlando Hudson to be patient and not overcommit. He stays back behind the bag, times it beautifully, gets the big hop, steps on the bag with his left foot, and then the snap throw onto first base.
Two outs for the catcher, John Buck. Average up to 280. He's extended his hit streak to 9 games now. Three balls and no strikes. Alex Burnett, just 22 years old. Pitched in Double-A last year. Made the jump all the way up to the big leagues. Four-pitch walk with 2 outs. Randy Ruiz, the DH, will bat. Ruiz, the DH, for the 8th time tonight. Twins lead at 6-3. Big swing and a miss. In case you've just joined us, Travis Snyder, the young outfielder for the Jays, has been placed on the disabled list with a sprained right wrist. Ground ball left side. Harris to second for the force out. Burnett comes in and has a clean inning. Twins lead at 6-3.
Well, and Sean Camp's been very good for the Jays. Pitching out of the bullpen, 2.79 ERA in 16 games. Just 15 hits, along with 14 strikeouts. Used to be basically just sinker slider, 2-pitch pitcher, but he's added a changeup, and it's made a big difference for him. Another weapon that he can use to keep hitters off balance in a pitch that they have to be conscious of.
Delman Young's had a home run in 3 trips. His solo home run came in the top of the second inning. Ground ball. Alex Gonzalez at short. 1 up, 1 down here in the 7th. Well, you're right about the improvement of Sean Camp with that changeup now. He gives the hitter something other to worry about, and he'll put a lot of balls on the ground for his infield. He loved the slider, and then Bruce Walton convinced him to take something off his 2-seam fastball, throw changeup, get a little more movement, and just get hitters to think another dimension. Brennan Harris, the shortstop. Backhanded by Bautista, and Camp gets 2 quick ground ball outs here in the 7th.
Well, when Camp enters the ball game, if you're an infielder, you know it's time to really be prepared and ready to go, because when he's at his best, he's going to induce a lot of ground balls.
Well, it really helps the reliever to come in and throw a lot of strikes, because the hitters don't get too much information on what you're featuring on a given night. Just come in, throw strikes, challenge them to put it in play early. There's that changeup. Punto batting from the left side for the first time tonight. He's a switch hitter that was 0 for 3 as a right-hander. A ball and a strike. Sean Camp in to work the 7th. 2 quick outs. Right back to Camp. A good 1-2-3 inning gives his hitters a chance to get back in this game. Just 7 pitches for Sean Camp in the 7th. With Rance Mullinex, Blue Jays trail it by 3 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. But over the last 17 games, this ball club has really turned things around offensively.
Averaged a little better than 6 runs a game. They've hit 32 home runs. And that runner in scoring position, number at 309, you hit 309 with runners in scoring position, you're going to drive in a lot of runs.
Since April 29th, the Blue Jays have the best record in baseball at 13-4. Fred Lewis got a hit and scored in his last at bat that came in the 5th. That base hit in the 5th, snap an 0 for 9 streak for Lewis. Lewis trying to spark the offense here in the 7th. Sean Kemp with a great 1-2-3 inning of relief, top of the 7th. Twins lead at 6-3. Bouncing ball to Hudson. Lewis is retired. Alex Burnett came on in the 6th inning in relief of Kevin Slowey. Gave up a leadoff base hit, but that was erased by a double play. Brian Dunsing is loosening up in the Twins bullpen. Dunsing worked in relief yesterday in the 8th inning, or 2/3 of an inning. One out now for Aaron Hill. Check swing, fouled at the plate. We mentioned the Twins, they just don't walk anybody. And if you're going to get back into a ball game, you're going to have to hit your way on. Even young Alex Burnett with a big arm. His team in total came into this game with 89 walks issued, fewest in the American League. So you've got to swing it. Aaron Hill is in a hole 0-2. Right to Hudson. Hill hit it on the nose, but right at the second baseman.
Well, isn't that the way it goes when you're struggling? Fall behind 0-2, pitcher makes a mistake. You hit it hard, but unfortunately right at Orlando Hudson. And that seems to be the way it goes when you can't get anything to fall for you.
Adam Lind 1 for 3 tonight. Fastball for a strike, 1-1. Blue Jays, of course, getting their first look at Alex Burnett. We mentioned he made the team this year. Pitched in Double-A last season. Just 22 years old. All right, back up the middle, base hit. 2 for 4 tonight for Adam Lind. That sets the table for Vernon Wells, who's been perfect tonight.
Yeah, and a good sign tonight for Adam Lind is he's had the one hit to left field and now one to center. And when he's at his best, he will spray it all over the lot.
Vernon Wells has been spraying it all over center. 3 singles and an RBI, average up to 312. Looks at the ball inside. Jays are down by 3 here in the 7th.
Well, if you look at the the spray chart, if you will, on Vernon Wells, or hits by direction. He has 25 to left, 20 to the center, just 1 to right.
And still, that's an improvement over last year when he tried to pull everything. He wasn't healthy, his wrist was injured, and just felt like he had to pull it to hit it hard. Good pitch, really tied up Wells down and in. And just the way he's attacked the ball tonight, taking all his base hits right back through the middle, that allows him to see the ball for a longer time.
Well, he's healthy and the bat speed's back. He's quick, and that allows him to sit back. And even Orlando Hudson's made the adjustment. He's moved up more towards.
Broken bat right back to the pitcher. Alex Burnett's had 2 good innings, trying to protect a 3-run Twins lead. Get information, call 416-341-1234, or you can log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. Sean Markham, great start his last time out. 7 innings of 2-hit shutout ball against the Red Sox. Orlando Hudson, perfect bunt up the first baseline. What a play by John Buck. Wow! Slid to his knees and threw a strike to Lyle Overbay. I mean, you can't bunt a ball better than that.
A great play by John Buck. Get out from behind the plate very quickly. And Denard Span deadens it right out in front of the plate. Sliding and making an accurate throw. This is just a great play.
Perfect play, and retires Span, who put down a perfect bunt. And another reminder to his pitcher, hey, get over on the right side with Hudson hitting. Sean Camp's retired all 4 batters he's faced. Twins lead at 6-3 here in the 8th. Difference in the ball game, a big 4-run 4th inning. Twins rallied for 4 2-out runs, aided by a couple of errors by Lyle Overbay. 2 of those 4 runs were unearned. 3 balls and a strike to Orlando Hudson. Hudson's had a busy night, both at the plate and in the field. He's had a couple of hits, scored a run, and driven 1 in. Right at the top of the strike zone, Hudson thought it was ball 4. Full count. Ground ball right side. Aaron Hill makes the play. Hudson's retired. 2 outs. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. 2 outs, top of the 8th. Joe Mauer, 2 for 4 tonight. Boy, there's a lot of late life on that fastball.
And he keeps the ball down very well in the strike zone consistently, and then that great movement late takes it down and out of the strike zone. And it's not often you're going to see a hitter like Mauer swing and miss. And that first pitch to him, sinker, had so much late movement to him, he couldn't even make contact with it.
Hot shot past Hill into right field. Mauer got on top of that pitch and put some topspin on it and skipped right past the glove of Aaron Hill. His 3rd hit tonight.
Well, the difference is the ball's up. And when a sinker's up, it flattens out a little bit. Most certainly the hitter can see it better. And Mauer hits it very hard past the diving Aaron Hill.
Now Justin Morneau. This is that dangerous 1-2 punch, 3 and 4 in the order. Morneau with 2 hits tonight. His 10th home run came in the 6th inning. Drive to center field. You could forget this one. He's just gone deep again. First pitch, 2-run home run for Justin Morneau. His 11th of the season, 2nd of the game. Minnesota.
Well, again, another pitch that's up just a little bit. And there was no doubt about this one.
7 of the 8 Twins runs tonight have come with 2 outs.
And it seems like those two have been right in the middle of it all.
Every night. Broken bat pop up to center. Michael Kadire will be retired by Wells. But another Morneau home run, his 2nd of the night, has given the Twins a 5-run lead.
3-run lead at that time. He has since hit a 2-run home run to make them 8-3.
And a reminder to visit BlueJays.com to register for a chance to win prizes with the Burger King Super Fan Contest. Alexei Casilla comes in to take over defensively at shortstop for Minnesota. And the new pitcher is Matt Guerrier. Alex Burnett with 2 solid innings of relief, allowed just 2 hits. Guerrier making his 19th appearance. Guerrier's got a lot of movement on that 2-seam fastball. He has been the most consistent setup guy for Ron Gardenhire, working ahead of John Roush in save situations. Good curveball, gets over Bay. One out here in the 8th. I mentioned Minnesota, they've scored 8 runs tonight. 7 of those have come with 2 outs. And again, it's the middle of the order. Mauer and Morneau doing the majority of the heavy lifting. Alex Gonzalez can't check his swing. Gonzalez has had a couple of hits tonight. 0-2.
It seems like the difference in this ball game, aside from the obvious, has been the fact that the Jays pitchers, with the exception of Sean Kemp, deep into counts, a lot of hitters counts, 3-2 counts, and it seems as if for the most part the Jays hitters all night long have been in that 0-2, 1-2 count. The Twins pitching tonight has only walked 1 hitter, and that's the reason that the Twins have scored 8 times and the Jays 3.
Another good curveball. Guerrier strikes out both batters here in the 8th inning.
He's shown a very good curveball. He struck Lyle Overbay out with it, and that is a very good overhand curveball. Has a lot of downward tilt and bite to it.
First pitch strike, that's what you were talking about. Twins pitchers have been ahead all night. They haven't been able to cool off Jose Bautista. His 11th home run gave the Jays an early lead in the 2nd. Guerrier came into the game against the Yankees on Friday night at the bases loaded to pitch to Alex Rodriguez and gave up a grand slam home run. And you can see that was the exception with the stuff that Guerrier's featuring tonight.
Especially the curveball. He's jumped ahead in the count and then went to his out pitch, which at least here in this ball game this evening is the good overhand curve.
Slider just off the plate outside. 2-2. We're in the 8th. Minnesota ahead 8-3. Another curveball, this time hit on the ground. Casilla makes the throw. Good throw. 3 up, 3 down for Guerrier in the 8th. into the third period when Winds are up 3-2. A good hockey game going on all Sportsnet channels right now, the Memorial Cup. Josh Renicky comes out of the Blue Jays bullpen to work the ninth inning. He'll be the fourth Blue Jays pitcher to work here. It'll be his seventh appearance of the season.
In his last outing, he struggled with lack of control. See 8 innings of work, 6 base on balls. Has a very good arm, 7 strikeouts. Just a young pitcher trying to figure some things out and gather up some better command.
Jason Kubel, the DH tonight. 1 for 3 with a walk. Kubel struck out his last time up. The change of down and away. Blue Jays got some good news from Jesse Litch, who made his second start in his rehab assignment. Ball hit to right field. Fred Lewis gets turned around, but he's able to recover in time to make the catch just on the warning track. 1 up, 1 down here in the ninth. But Jesse Litch made his second rehab start in A-ball for Dunedin. He pitched 8 innings, allowed 5 hits, gave up 3 earned runs, but threw just over 90 pitches. So it was a 7-inning outing and an 8-inning outing for Jesse Litch on his recovery program. He will now move to AAA Las Vegas. That's all good news. Jesse Litch cannot be activated until June 3rd because he's on the 60-day disabled list. He had his Tommy John surgery on June 12th a year ago. Alex Anthopoulos, the GM of the Blue Jays, has set a standard by which he will live by, that anybody that's gone through Tommy John surgery will not pitch in the big leagues until a year from that surgery. Which sounds like Jesse Litch is really coming back very well from his elbow surgery. Delman Young, center field. Vernon Wells in front of the track. 2 up, 2 down here in the ninth.
Well, the good sign is that he's been able to pitch deep into the ball game. He threw 90 pitches in his last outing, and that's a very good sign in itself that he's healthy.
2 walks, 5 strikeouts, and as we mentioned, he will now move to Las Vegas in AAA. Alexei Casilla came on defensively in the 8th. This will be his first at bat.
And important to remember, if you go back to 2008, Jesse Litch won 13 games and pitched very effectively.
Another fly ball to center field. Easy play for Vernon Wells. Good inning for Josh Renicky. 3 up, 3 down on just 8 pitches. Blue Jays got some work to do in the bottom of the ninth. They trail by 5. channels. It'll be Carl Pavano for the Twins against Sean Markham. Markham coming off that great start against the Red Sox last time out at Fenway Park. 7 innings of 2-hit shutout pitching for Markham really salvaged the road trip. It turned a situation around. It could have been 6-4 on the road trip, turned it into a very positive 7-3. Toronto-born Jesse Crain comes on to work the 9th inning here. Good inning for Matt Guerrier, a 3-up, 3-down 8th, and now it'll be Crain here in the 9th. It'll be 8-9-1 for the Blue Jays here in the 9th. A ball and a strike to John Buck. Buck has extended his hit streak to 9 games. He singled in the 2nd inning.
And normally in a situation such as this, you'd 2-1 to John Buck, but to begin this inning, you'd think hitters would take a strike, but these Twins staff, they don't walk anybody, so you're going to have to swing the bat to beat them. So it really doesn't make a lot of sense to take that approach, which normally you would do in baseball, down by 5 in the bottom of the 9th inning. You might as well go ahead, if you get a pitch to hit, be aggressive. That was something that Bobby Cox usually always played it different than kind of most everybody else would in baseball. He always felt like he didn't care if you were down 3 or 4 runs late in the game. Don't be taking pitches, trying to work the count or draw the base on balls just to get base runners. Go ahead, if you get a pitch you like, be aggressive.
Well, of course, Cito Gaston has continued that philosophy in his managerial career. Cito's always been offensive minded. And it really doesn't make any sense, and that's why there are no black and white rules in baseball. You have to factor in who you're playing, and the Twins just don't walk anybody. 3-2 to Buck. Struck him out. Back up breaking ball came inside and tied him up. Sean Markham, we mentioned, will start tomorrow against the Twins. He was great his last time out at Fenway Park. It's J.D. Drew and an outside fastball. Markham allowed just 2 hits, struck out 6, walked just 1 batter. He was hooked up with a very effective Tim Wakefield. It was 1-0 going into the 7th. Travis Snyder supported Sean Markham very effectively. Snyder had 3 RBI, all 3 runs driven in by Snyder. Ruiz pops the ball down the right field line. Kadire into foul ground, runs out of room. But you talk about an impact start. That start by Sean Markham at Fenway Park last Wednesday afternoon was certainly one that turned momentum around dramatically in the Blue Jays' favor.
Well, it's just 1 win, but 7-3 just sounds so much better than 6-4, especially when it's the last game of a tough, long road trip. After losing back-to-back ball games at Boston, to come back on last Wednesday, and win that game really lets you finish your trip on a high note.
0-1 to Ruiz. Well, and the thing would have been, had they lost that 3rd game, they would have been swept for the season by the Red Sox. They would have had an off day thinking about 3 ugly games in Boston. But it really was exactly what you want from your number 1 pitcher. Two balls and a strike to Ruiz. Sharply on the ground, backhanded by Punto. Strong throw off the line. That hits Ruiz. He's going to have to get back to the bag. He made a move towards second. Should be an infield hit for Randy Ruiz, as that was hit deep to third base.
Well, a tough play for Nick Punto. He had to give ground to get the hop that he could handle, and then Got to make a long throw to first base into the runner. Good job by Orlando Hudson to hustle over and back the play up.
First hit of the night for Ruiz. Comes with one out here in the ninth. Fred Lewis trying to hit these Jays back in it. He's had a hit in 4 trips. And there's what you're talking about. Cito Gaston giving the hitters the freedom to swing at that first pitch, even though they're down by 5. Just depends on who you're facing. Must be the old adage of take a strike. Cito always thought like that was really a negative philosophy.
Well, if you get in a situation where a pitcher, goes 2 balls and no strikes, or maybe runs a count to 3-1, depending on how comfortable you are facing a particular pitcher, you might go ahead and take another strike.
Two balls and a strike.
In a situation where you need base runners.
Here, Lewis would have the ability to swing at a fastball, but you got to understand the counts in your favor. Swings at the fastball, hits it to center field, but Span's got a beat on it. 2 outs here in the ninth. Jesse Crane in to work the 9th inning. Will deal with Aaron Hill with 2 outs. Twins are up by 5. They lead it 8-3. They have out-hit the Blue Jays 12-11. First pitch strike.
If you take a look at the defense in the outfield, pretty much straight away in center and right. But look where Delman Young is playing Aaron Hill. That would be basically dead pull. Normally you'd be swung much over about, if you drew a line from first base through second base out to the wall, that's about where your left fielder would be playing normally. And you see a ball get away from Mauer, and clearly Ruiz couldn't pick the ball up because Mauer was between him and the baseball, and Aaron Hill telling him to go ahead and move up, and able to move into second base with no problem. But you don't see lots of if a left fielder swung over that far, they'll take the center fielder and bring him along with the left fielder, so you don't have that big a gap. But Young has now since moved a little bit back towards left center.
2 outs here tonight. The 1-1 count on Aaron Hill. A ball and 2 strikes. Reach for that fastball outside to stay alive. Jesse Crane is the 4th Twins pitcher to work here tonight. Kevin Slowey, the starter, went 5 innings. Alex Burnett worked 2. Guerrero worked the 8th, and now Jesse Crane on in the 9th. Hill stays alive. Mentioned the 8 runs scored by Minnesota. 7 of those 8 runs have scored with 2 outs. Big 4-run 4th inning, the difference in the ball game. And it all began with 2 outs and nobody on. Bernard Span with a 2-out double, and that just opened up the floodgates. Off the end of the bat, Casilla at short to Morneau, and the Twins have won it. Minnesota wins at 8-3. 12 hits, big night offensively for Justin Morneau.
Well, you can very easily break this game down. The Twins had very, very good pitching. They threw strikes, pounded the strike zone, and then it was Mauer and Morneau. Mauer with 3 hits on the ball in the ball game tonight, and of course Morneau with 2 of them which left the ballpark.
Well, thanks for watching tonight. Reminder, the Memorial Cup is going on all sports.